Good Friday evening, everyone. Welcome to Garden State Weather Premium on YouTube, Garden State Weather Forecast on Facebook, Garden State Weather on Facebook, and Garden State WX on Twitter. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith. We wanted to do this the other night, but every time I get back into the weather office or whatever, I get a phone call or something that is like taking up all of my time. And tonight we're going to do this um, on this Friday, the 4th of March, 2022. I wanted to talk about the Elysian Palm Index a little bit. Um, Basically, a movement, pulses from the stratosphere at the tropical level, and also transferring its energy to the stratosphere at the polar or Arctic levels here. And this forecast, we're going to start out with the stratosphere and then work our way down. We're using the Earth Null School map here from earth.nullschool.net. And we're using, this is coming off of the GFS, our global model here, in the United States of America, the NCEP United States National Weather Service. Now we're starting out at around the top of the stratosphere this evening, and we can definitely see a very strong stratospheric warming. Now when I looked at the EP flux data and its forecast, it's coming in waves and pulses. So this is late in the season, but this is really a pretty good strong stratospheric warming event that's going on here over Alaska, okay, and over the Pacific here. And it has actually, and what we're looking at here is the wind. Okay, so this is pretty strong, but not as strong as the polar vortex here and these pinks here. It's 167 kilometers an hour here in the outer shadings, and when you get into the blues, obviously that's the center, so it's going to be a lot lower. But this is an indication here where the stratosphere is being stretched, and actually what has occurred here as of now is that the polar vortex has shifted into or split into two different lobes. One here, this is current now, is over North America, just east of Hudson's Bay. Okay, and the other is over the top of the pole here. And here's this big stratospheric warming event here occurring over the Aleutian Islands, which is trying to stretch and break it. It's still not broken into two complete lobes, but what the model guidance wants to suggest that it does is continue to do that. And we're going to have one big strong lobe here east of Hudson's Bay, Canada, and the other over the Arctic Circle. And on both sides of the pole here, there is stratospheric warming, again, the EP flux, which is, basically heat or latent heat from the tropics south of the international convergence zone up into the Arctic zones here. And that's what's causing these two ridges here at 10 millibars, the upper levels of the stratosphere here, to break the polar vortex or split it into two separate lobes. Now, this is important because our forecast for March is indicating a lot of problems. As we move through the forecast, the stratospheric warming begins to weaken here over Alaska and also on the other side of the pole here towards Europe. But the two lobes are now separated once again, and they're very strong. But that's all going to come to a shifty end here. The polar vortex is going to consolidate even stronger as it looks now by the 7th and 8th of March. But we're still going to have this lobe of the polar vortex over northern New England, over Nova Scotia here. And again, this is going to, now this is at 10 millibars in the stratosphere. This is not the surface, but we're going to get down to that. And as you can see, the GFS through the forecast period continues to show the building or rebuilding of the cold pool here over the main center here over the Arctic Circle, and a weakening of that lobe here over the eastern United States and off the Canadian Maritimes here. So what does this tell us? The consolidation is going to happen, but there's going to be consequences in temperatures as we get down to the jet stream level here, 250 millibars. Let's start out with now. And we've got pretty much a west to east flow across the country. That's right now, okay? And as we can see this at, 250 millibars, about 40,000 feet or so in the atmosphere, 40,000 feet in the atmosphere, we can definitely see a very, very active subtropical jet stream and a very active polar jet stream with a discontinuity between the two. So the flow is west to east across the country. That's now. But as we get into this forecast, and as the upstairs changes here, with our lobe here, this is one of the pieces of the polar vortex here at 250 millibars at the jet stream level, well east of Hudson's Bay, and the main centers here, okay, with vortices underneath them. This is going to get interesting because as we move through the forecast, we're going to find jet structures increasing here, especially out of the southwest into northern New England as that vestige just leaves. So warm air advection pattern at 250 millibars is on the way at jet stream level, and it also means a very, very fast flow of air. You're dealing with 195 kilometers an hour in some cases, upwards to 200 and something kilometers per hour. So the jet structure is definitely showing signs. This is ridging here off of the west coast, and underneath that and to the north of that, it's a fast, fast flow. Now at 500 millibars, which is the upstairs of the atmosphere, this is what it looks like now. West to east flow, but a discontinuity here between the polar and subtropical jet stream showing up right now, and that's for real. So what does this do as we go through time? As we get into the 6th here, which is Sunday, things are consolidating. We have a closed low here at 500 millibars over the desert southwest, and a southwest to northeast flow of the jet structure with jet cores underneath it in that 150, 160, 200 mile an hour range here. So everything is to the west of us, okay? But this is a warm advective pattern because high pressure is located off of the Florida Straits here, okay? And also well out into the Atlantic. So this allows for warm air advection to take hold. Now, the things that are interesting is that this is just going to intensify as we head into the week. As the upper low in the desert southwest opens up, the jet structure opens up from the southwest to the northeast, and we're on the south and east side of this jet structure. So things are really going to start warming up, and this is a baroclinic zone here in the atmosphere. And it's interesting because if we looked at 700 millibars, we see the same kind of thing. Only until a front comes through with waves of low pressure on it do we see some periods of rain and eventually some wintry precipitation too. When we get down to the modeling, we'll see that. Other thing I wanted to show that I thought was interesting to look at is the precipitable water values. If we went to now, the atmosphere is dry. We've got at 700 millibars, high pressure over the southeastern United States and very dry air here in all the grays and also all of the browns. As we move through the forecast, though, that high is going to give way, as you can see it. The flow is coming in and the moisture is also returning. So at 700 millibars, by the time we get into the 6th here on Monday, it's just a stream at 700 millibars of precipitable water values from the Gulf of Mexico all the way into the northern mid-Atlantic coast states. So you get ready to rock and roll with definitely some precipitation as we get into this. And you can see that we're not changing the factor too much by the 7th. In fact, we'd have to get to around the 8th when the front clears the coast and precipitation ends. This is just precipitable water vapor. This is not the actual forecast at the surface. Now, when we get down to the surface here, and we're looking at the GFS from this afternoon's model run here at the surface, the precipitable water values, there is none. We have compression, confluence in the atmosphere. As we move this in time, we can see the return flow across the central United States into the Tennessee and Ohio River Valley areas here into the Great Lakes. High pressure is now well off the coast. There's somewhat of a return flow here over the Appalachian Mountain spine here, and that's going to increase the chances for precipitation because this high pressure ridge here at the surface now, which in the upstairs is really down here at 700 millibars and 500 millibars here, this is going to be prompting waves of low pressure because this looks like a frontal boundary even when you look at it at the surface with precipitable water values approaching or better than 27, 28 kilograms per meter squared here. This is metric. So when you see this kind of configuration, and we're looking at this from the GFS's point of view here, we're not going to clear things out and the winds won't shift around until about Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday here. And that's when the dry air transport starts building in. This is the GFS model. So, and that front's just going to stall. It's going to be quite wet as you head into the Carolinas and Florida with this kind of configuration here at the surface. The front's going to be like way out here and down, strung out through the southeast and Florida. So you're in for some rainier weather here. And this is interesting too. Look at this. We've got high pressure here and a couple of waves, multiple short waves here coming in from off the Pacific. First, second, third, fourth here. Very interesting pattern. And we're just looking at the water vapor here. Now, I wanted to get into the 850 millibar temperatures because this is, where things are really going to change. Right now, we've got warm air transport. We've got cold air transport over the area right now. Okay, but that's going to change because of this configuration in here. See, we have the ridge over the southeastern United States. So as all of this starts moving along, we get warm air transport and the ridge over the southeast begins to build, the winds become southwest, and 850 millibar temperatures rise. We'd have to go all the way back into the upper Midwest here where the cold pool is going to begin to come in. And this is very strong high pressure here over just west of the Aleutian Islands here. And as you can see, all of these short waves dancing around the Pacific, trying to get into the western United States. But this ridge here in the southeastern United States is very strong. So there's a warm air transport here. You're going to have to look for cold air advection to happen in the upper Midwest on Saturday, tomorrow. Okay, as we get through this period with that precipitable water value that we've already talked about, we've got a front coming in that's going to kind of be slow and parallel to the flow of this ridge here. So that's going to slow up everything, and there'll be waves of low pressure coming in. And by the time we get to, let's see, today's the 4th, so 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, Tuesday. That's where we start to see the cold front crossing the area, and this is at 850 millibars. and then the front clears, but stalls out just to the south and west. So here comes the cold air once again. Even at 850 millibars, let's go back one more time, see if we can do this. Go back once, twice, three, nope. So here you go. Go back. This is going to be transitory, but I can tell you something. Winter's not over yet. This is off the European model guidance here from Weather Labs, Weather Models Lab. Here's the European model guidance from this morning. It shows that warm southwestern, what we call stratospheric warming event here, or EP flux here. And two separate lobes have split here. One over North America, the other over the Arctic Circle. And again, through time, as these two ridges of stratospheric warming combine, they'll separate these two into two different separate lobes as we head into Monday, March 7th. And then the one here waxes and wanes, and this stratospheric warming actually over here on the other side of the pole, in England and Russia and Ireland here, that's all going to diminish. So this stratospheric warming event underneath this is going to break this one apart here, and it's going to keep this one over the Arctic Circle as the cooling continues, and by the time we get out to 10 days, this is what it looks like. So, you know, better times are ahead, but we've still got some trouble underneath in the lower troposphere. Now, of course, everyone's talking about the temperatures in the 70s and 60s, upper 60s and 70s here in the northern New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area. First of all, we're going to visit the Philadelphia sites here, which is Allentown, Atlantic City, Sussex County, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Wilmington, Delaware, Reading, Pennsylvania, Trenton, Mount Pocono, and Maryland here. So these were the records and the years here, but the forecast for Allentown is probably not going to be met. Atlantic City, probably going to be broken. Sussex County, New Jersey, probably not. Philadelphia, probably is going to be broken. The forecasted temperature around 73, that's going to probably break the old record there. Wilmington, Delaware is probably going to break their record. Trenton is going to probably tie its record. Mount Pocono probably fall short, maybe. And of course in Maryland here, probably not. Now, if we looked at temperature records for Sunday here, record highs on Sunday, New York City 68, LaGuardia 64, JFK 63, Islip 59 coming in off the water there, Newark at 69, and they didn't tell you the years. They didn't tell you the years. So we're going to go into this right now, and let's see, navigation, reset navigation here. Let's go into the digital database here, go into probably northeast, and we want to do record highs. So let's see if we can get this right. Well, yeah, there'll be a few of these high temperature records on Sunday, especially in the I-95 corridor, the Newark area here. That shows up nice. Maybe a few more records here on Monday, but that's going to be further south through the I-95 corridor here. It could be met at Philadelphia, and of course portions of the Delmarva, Western Virginia here, and Virginia proper. And after that, I'm not seeing any high temperature records here for the rest of the week. So this is what it's going to look like for tomorrow here. It's going to be warmer than it was today. Back to normal in the mid and upper 40s, low to mid 50s across the region. Cooler along the South Shore, east ends of Long Island. This time of the year, it's the air temperature over the water and any kind of wind that's advecting in from off of the water to cool the column down. In the Hudson River Valley area, the North Shore, the South Shore, and east ends of Long Island and the Jersey Shore. Now, inland temperatures, that's where it matters. On Sunday, temperatures are forecasted again to be in the 60s and lower 70s here. So we could approach a few records here on Sunday. You might think that that's going to happen on Monday in northern New Jersey and the Hudson River Valley area and everything, and it's not. It's not. It may occur here across southeastern Pennsylvania into the Delmarva, but even then. And then temperatures just really fall off when the cold front comes through on Tuesday, waves of the low pressure and all the rain that's coming through. So temperatures fall back, but they're still near to above normal. And then Wednesday, they're near to above normal again. And Thursday, near to above normal again, but nowhere near. Don't get used to this just right away, because that's not going to occur. So the temperature anomalies for Saturday, for Sunday actually, are about 25 degrees above normal over the land sections here. South Shore and east ends of Long Island, the ocean fronts here are about 15, 20 degrees above normal, but that all slips away. Monday, it's still above normal, but the greatest threat for above normal temperatures here are from, let's say, southeastern Pennsylvania, down the turnpike here into Philadelphia. That could be another day where temperatures are broken, but look at this. By the time we get into Tuesday, everything just shifts around. We're just a couple of degrees above normal. And then the same thing for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. We're still above normal, but not by much. And nowhere are we here. 7-day precipitation. Okay. We're going to go through this now at up to 168 hours off of the National Weather Blend of models here, which is a suite of models, including the global and other models here that we use, and connection with the European model guidance as well to some degree here. I swear it's going to be very wet over the next 10 days. Now, that's not an anomaly to see this kind of liquid equivalent. This is a liquid equivalent on the ground. That's not anything else. So hold on. First, we'll look at the European model guidance in the local area, the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia I-95 corridor here, from the 12Z model guidance out to about 10 days. So this is the base reflectivity forecast. So, as clouds increase overnight and tomorrow, we're definitely going to see Saturday tomorrow doesn't look bad. I don't see any problems here. And then, but cloudy skies are going to increase, and we'll get into that in a moment, but that's a warm air advection. Now, we'll have a short wave or disturbance move through on Sunday, March 6th. That's going to produce some widely scattered showers around here. Nothing looks very heavy, so it's not a washout on Sunday, even though the skies are cloudy, okay? So get used to this, and then that breaks off, and then another short wave comes in over the area as we head into Monday, Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Monday evening. That could produce some moderate to heavy downpours around the New York City area, the Yonkers, Brentwood. Again, moisture is increasing, but these are short waves along a frontal boundary, and the upper level divergence, PVA, and NVA will be working its way through the area. So negative vorticity advection, no precipitation during these time frames. PVA, positive vorticity advection, yes. And then, of course, as we get into Wednesday, here comes more rain across the area. This is not particularly heavy, and people are looking at Scranton or the Poconos or, upstate New York for, heavy bouts of, wintry precipitation, but, maybe that's going to occur, but it's going to occur too far to the north and east here, Okay, but there could still be some heavy rain around here on Thursday as that, low pressure area works its way across the area with the cold front, and you got 558 thickness levels here over southern New Jersey, some very strong precipitable water values, probably some very strong isentropic lift and frontogenetic forcing to cause that. But notice everything just like goes out to sea. Here's the center of low pressure here by Thursday afternoon. So snow and ice, well, that's north of Springfield and north of Boston as well. And everything after that is peaches and cream, so to speak. This is another thing I wanted to look at is the cloud cover here from the European forecast. And you can use the NAM model. You can use anything that you want to, okay? Let's do the 18Z model run here. And of course, we're going to see clouds increase across the area here overnight tonight with that warm air vector pattern taking hold. Saturday, it's going to be quite cloudy, okay? But we're warming, okay? So these are mid, probably high-level clouds. Could be breaks in the area as we head into the overnight hours, but I don't see a lot of clearing here. So there's going to be an opaque look to the sky, and this is where we break out on Sunday. Yeah, and the temperatures too. Where we break out with sunshine and no rain or showers in the area, that's where the skies are going to partially clear, and that's going to allow the insolation from the March sun to work its way through, but the clouds increase once again on Monday and Tuesday with that front and waves of low pressure moving along it.